I'm wondering if you can tell us how many people UNOPS has in Gaza on a daily basis. Like, how large is the staff there? And you talked about the importance of getting electricity into the region. But I wonder, given Israel's reluctance to work with UNRWA, if UNOPS is taking over more of the food distribution as well. And then finally, sorry, I know this is a lot of questions, but given the destruction that you've seen, and knowing that forcible displacement is against international law, I nevertheless wonder about the ability to rebuild in the north, given there is so much destruction, and what are the challenges that you see there with people? Can people live amidst that and have large-scale rebuilding at the same time? Thanks.
Thank you very much. Well, definitely we are not taking from UNRWA. UNRWA is irreplaceable, as we have said it in many occasions. In the case of UNOPS, we have a team there. We have been in Gaza for 14 years or 15 years. We have around 100 colleagues in Gaza. So we stayed and delivered in all these areas, from fuel to managing this system, so the UN 2720 system, to bring an image or a metaphor. It's like a control traffic tower in an airport. So it's what UNOPS is doing. We approve the entry of aid into Gaza based on the real priorities. So it's not first come, first served. We ensure that the approvals of aid are based on real needs, and then we also provide accountability and transparency. If you go to the website 2720.org, you will know the amount of aid that has been brought and what was rejected and why was rejected. So this kind of transparency and accountability, it's a confidence building mechanism. So it will be very important to use it for the next phase. So what are the difficulties, going to your question about the difficulties that I see on the operations, particularly in the next phase? And again, the point that I made about rubble and debris is quite impressive. When I was there, and I visited recently Afghanistan, I've been also in Ukraine, in Cabo Delgado, in Mozambique, we have teams in all these places. What I saw in Gaza is similar to what you see in a massive earthquake. In a massive earthquake, where things collapse completely. So the recovery in Gaza is possible, the same way that has been possible in places affected by massive earthquakes. So we need to find a way, but we cannot wait, because the point is, it's utopian to be talking about reconstruction without going first to rubble removal and to early recovery, which means that you need roads. You cannot remove the rubble without rehabilitating the roads. I've been there. It's impossible to circulate. We shouldn't even call it roads. Then to remove the rubble, you need electricity, you need water, because the machines cannot work without electricity. So that the early recovery component, which is removing the rubble, waste management, creating this rehabilitation of critical infrastructure is fundamental. So it will require lots of planning, and it will require lots of collaboration. I don't want to be arrogant. I lead an agency, UNOPS, that is the 5th largest agency in the system, I've been told. UNOPS cannot do it alone. No agency can do it alone. Nobody can do it alone. The level of destruction and the amount of rubble that is there would require strong partnership in the system and in the multilateral system, obviously with the best expertise. We are part of that option. We are part of that effort, bringing our practical solutions.
Bisan?
Thank you very much, Bisan Abukwek with Al Jazeera Arabic. This is maybe a hypothetical question, but from what you have seen, can you give a rough estimate of how much in dollars would it is required to actually rebuild Gaza, and how long do you think it would take? And my second question is, given what President Trump has proposed, and of course, we know the UN position on that and on forced displacement. The Arab countries apparently might be discussing some sort of proposal or counter-proposal. Has the UN been in contact, your teams, have they been in contact with anyone from the Arab countries in terms of any counter-proposals to that, to what President Trump has mentioned time and time again?
Thank you. In terms of costs, the assessment that has been done brings us to $30 billion cost. So that's the cost, the estimated cost of the damage cost. But as you know, one thing is what is the cost of the damage. Another thing is the cost of recovery and reconstruction, which very likely is higher. So we are dealing with a number that is quite significant. So at least 30 billion. So this is an important moment for the international community. It's a moment of mobilization. Tom Fletcher, my colleague Tom Fletcher, was in Gaza a few days ago. He clearly made a call to bring more aid into Gaza and to bring more solidarity into Gaza. UNOPS has been in contact with multiple donors. We are bringing our availability, our expertise. For instance, on the waste management, on rubble, we have been with other agencies in collaboration with other UN agencies. We have approached donors trying to mobilize the international community. And of course, this includes also the Arab countries, but not only the Arab countries. We are in contact with all countries trying to mobilize them for this new phase of the early recovery, but in the short term, humanitarian aid. But I forgot to say something, if I may. Because I know that because there are no journalists in Gaza, it's only through these briefings that we have the chance to share with you our impressions. And I'm going to say something that is subjective, and apologies because it's not based on numbers, it's a perception. When I was in Gaza today, I saw a level of destruction that is much higher than 1 year ago when I visited Gaza already during the war. But I saw more hope in the faces, with the people that I engaged with, in the children that were with more smiley faces than I saw 1 year ago. I saw food in the markets. I saw people in the streets, everything destroyed, people obviously very impoverished, but clearly with hope. So the point is, let's not waste the opportunity that the ceasefire has created. Maybe not everything is perfect, but the UN has been able to provide more aid, and this is obviously the first phase, and it's a moment of hope and opportunity. So I insist on this point because I know that we are in a specific and difficult context, and I really hope that from what I saw, that we don't miss, that we don't fail to the people that are expecting more aid and a new future.